2,000 years later.
Let's rock it.
Let's rock it. What's up, Joe?
Hey.
Oh, you caught me off guard. Snack time.
Snacks, good.
It was more like a coffee dribble, but we got to tell them it's snacks.
Yeah. We all need snacks.
Yes. So, hello everybody out there in YouTube land. Hope you're doing the things, liking the stream, giving the thumbs up, subscription, notification trio, or ring-a-dingy click thing, like you do. It's tea time, huh? Tea time?
I hope everyone's having a great day.
I don't have tea. I have coffee. Is that okay? Is this a pinkies down or a pinkies up kind of show?
I'm not sure. Let's try it. Hi, Fantastic Brit. How are you today? Hope you're well and staying safe.
A coffee. Hey, Whip. What up?
So, what got you into wrestling?
What got me
Is
into
that
wrestling?
topic?
Some big man threw me in the ring and beat on me. No, I'm just...
Could be fine.
I mean, stranger things have happened, right? So, yeah, man, good question. So, what got me into wrestling? Well, a long time ago, I used to DJ in a couple of different places around town, and one of the other DJs was a wrestler for a little tiny wrestling company. Kind of, it was almost like a backyard wrestling thing, and kind of like it was a backyard wrestling thing. But anyway,
what was the name? That's okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Cool.
It's not family friendly. Lots of blood and other things. But I'll tell you about it sometime. But anyway, like the some of the like we had different shows around town and whatnot, and we also had a lot of crossover between some of the wrestlers and a lot of the patrons of the clubs and the establishments that we played at. Were also the wrestling fans, including one guy that worked for another local wrestling promotion. And I say local, it's not really local. It's about an hour's drive, hour and a half away from where I am, where I was. And little tiny town in Humboldt, Tennessee is what it was called. Humboldt, Tennessee. And the company's name there was New Breed Pro Wrestling. And there was people over there. Let's see, Johnny Damone was over there. We had what's that guy's name? Wildfire, of course. Can't forget Wildfire, legendary Wildfire. Yeah, Brian over there. I forget exactly what his last name was. I've got him on my Facebook as something completely different, but whole different factions over there. I met Holly Hood over there, Mississippi Kingpin, last remaining member of the Wolf
Holly
Pack.
Hood's been in your live streams, hasn't he?
He has. He has.
Video.
Yeah, I went on to work really closely with him for UCPWS, Ultimate Championship Pro Wrestling South, after my run at New Breed. One of the patrons of both the club and the wrestling events, and also a couple other extra activities, thrown around. I just became friends with this person, kind of more of an acquaintance than a friend. But he was like, "Hey, I'm a commentator and a manager for this wrestling company, and they need an announcer. And I know you worked with the other company, and like, would you be interested?" And I'm like, "Let's go." And we hopped in the car in typical pro wrestling fashion. And week after week, whenever we could do it, we would make that trek up to Humboldt and work the wrestling show and get a copy on the DVD. And actually, it was three of us that ran there. It was him, his significant other, and me. And his significant other ran the audio and the video for the shows. And there's a couple other guys that cross paths with over there. But really Holly Hood, man. I talked to him the other week, and he's just a great guy. He really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can really thank Dr. Camp for my, I guess, true exposure to the wrestling business, breaking in and whatnot. And then, I got to thank, Johnny Damone and Brian and all of them, Wildfire, for giving me a shot. Of course, like, first and foremost, Wildfire. But then you got to also turn around and thank, Tony, the owner of the other promotion that, brought me in and got me kind of exposed to the deathmatch world of wrestling, if you will.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Then I went on to do the UCPWS thing because of New Breed. I was the announcer of this guy's match, Hollywood. He never seen the guy before, and of course, as an announcer, I'm supposed to know everything there is to know about every competitor out there, Never seen this cat in my entire life. And then, this is Hollywood. It's like, okay, hello. Locker room etiquette. You extend your hand. Hi, I'm so and so. Nice to meet you. Is there any thing that you'd like to tell me about yourself? What's your finishing maneuver? How do you prefer to be announced, et cetera, et cetera? Do the rundown. He's cool, man. He's just a super cool guy. And I went out, did my thing, and I announced him, and I believe his tag team partner was there too. And they had a great match. I made an impression on the guy. He's a large athlete, and he's a high flyer. So big high flyer in a small ring, and that man, when I say he made an impact, I mean that literally, physically, emotionally, like intellectually. It was a great show that night, and I went on to become the voice and pretty much advertising personality for UCPWS and my YouTube channel. And production company on the side thing here, Backseat Gorilla Productions, is sponsored a few of the events over at UCPWS.
Yeah.
There's my cheap plug of the day. So, yeah, man. What
That's
got you
cool.
into watching wrestling?
Well, I didn't actually watch wrestling itself for quite a long time, because my mum's kind of, for a long time, didn't like violence. And the TV's stations didn't really put it on. But this is actually quite interesting. I actually talked to friends. They had sticker albums. And that's the thing that got me into it, is a couple of stickers.
That's cool.
And these stickers were Bret the Hitman Hart, Jake the Snake Roberts, and a few others, Hulk Hogan. And I've had a friend, he had quite a lot of wrestling figures, a wrestling ring figure, toy, and I'd never seen them before, because wrestling with the UK can be quite awkward. But it's really good, and I like it a lot now. And my first WWE figure that I really wanted was Bret the Hitman Hart. Boxed or unboxed, I didn't care. I found one, and I got it.
Nice.
My first thought was to get it signed by him, and I got another figure signed. So I got a Bret Hitman Hart later on figure signed, and a book and a Raw book. with Bret Hart on the cover.
That's cool. I always wanted a pair of the Bret the Hitman Hart sunglasses.
Me too.
Never got them.
I'm so childish, right?
And there's so many times that I wanted to ask my parents for that Undertaker long sleeping shirt in the WWE magazine back when they included the catalog of merchandise right in the middle of it. You could order
Yeah.
the long t-shirts for sleeping and like all that stuff. Like if we want to go back that far, like we can talk about what got me like watching wrestling as a fan. When I was like 7 years old or whatever it was, I don't know. It's the Undertaker. No, that's the long and short of it. The Undertaker character is really what drew me in, and
he's quite interesting.
I liked him over
Like-
Hulk Hogan. Ultimate Warrior was my favorite, like, and I claimed him as my favorite, but really it was the Undertaker, like from day one.
Cool. My first action figure for WWE, or should I say WWF, was Undertaker and Hulk Hogan. He had the stupid motion, what was more that, and them arms just looked so stupid.
Oh man!
But it was good.
Like a Stretch Armstrong Hulk Hogan.
No, they're like really solid.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. If you look at something like the Power Rangers figures, like from this year, they're soft. Even though they're supposed to be plastic, they're soft.
Oh.
They're most likely to break within weeks if you move the arms too much. But them WWE figures were super strong.
I have a little Finn Balor. I think they call it like Steel Series or something. I know it's a headphone company, but Real Steel. I don't know, but die-cast. Maybe that's it. Die-cast steel, and it's metal and it's painted, and the thing's kind of heavy. It's like it's just a little figurine, like a mini Funko Pop, but it's Finn Balor, and he does have like the vinyl, Cyberlocks and Dread Falls or whatever they're called, Cyber Falls.
Yeah.
Oh man, what else, man? When I was growing up, I had 2 wrestling toys that really stood out to me. First one was my Wrestle Buddy. I had an Ultimate Warrior Wrestle Buddy, and I think I had a Macho Man Randy Savage Wrestle Buddy, but I remember I played with the Ultimate Warrior much more.
Those are those soft like teddies, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're about like about 2 feet tall, 2.5 feet tall, half as wide, and they're just like in a T pose.
Yeah.
And you can suplex them and throw them around. And
I think they did something like that with WCW, and with like a wire in them, and if you moved the arms, they went ouch. I'm pretty sure they broke easy.
Then I also had a WCW, not WWF, and I always wanted a WWF. Never could find one, but a WCW championship belt, like just the plastic one from KB Toys. And then I also had one of the tag team belts, I believe. So I had those 2. And they were just little plastic cheapies but the KB Toys smell, I can smell KB Toys right now. I don't know. It just has this aroma, and it's no longer there. Like, there's no more KB Toys. The smell of a toy store. Even Toys R Us had its own smell. And walking down the figurine aisle smelled a little bit different than walking down, say, like the puzzle aisle. And then you got to the bike aisle, and you could smell all the rubber tires, and you're like, yeah. Fun times, man. Fun times.
Totally.
Why I bring that up? Because that's where I got my toys. My toys. And action
Our
figures
nearest
are
Toys
crazy.
R Us was like an hour on the bus away.
Mm.
So we never really got to go to Toys R Us that much. And their most popular toy one year was Doctor Death. They had hundreds of him, and then
Steve
he
Williams.
left. Hmm.
Why was Dr. Death so popular? It's an
I
odd wrestler.
yeah,
Was he like from
it's
England or
like the
something?
easy. I don't know. He was just super easy to get, but it's
Yeah.
funny.
Man, good old vintage WCW, man. Like pre NWO. Like that's some good stuff. I like going back and rewatching just a random episode of Nitro every now and then, or even Saturday night, you know.
Hmm. I like that too. It's fun.
I go back and watch old pay-per-views too. Like
Yeah.
the first pay-per-view that I really really wanted, and I didn't get to see it in its entirety
Hmm.
until I was in my early 30s, maybe late 20s. But
Hmm.
anyway, um, like was SummerSlam '92. It's my favorite pay-per-view,
Yeah.
and
I haven't watched that one,
it's got one
and
of
I
the
haven't got
greatest
WWE
matches.
Network.
Man, it's one of the greatest matches. It's Bret the Hitman Hart
Hmm.
versus
David Boy Smith.
yeah,
Right.
Davey. I was thinking Owen, but no, it's Davey Boy Smith, and it's just
Yeah.
awesome. I think Jim Neidhart's in there
Yeah.
with Owen maybe against somebody. Like it's just a great show. Undertaker's there. Or, no, Undertaker's not there. He didn't debut until
A bit later,
uh,
wasn't
November Survivor Series '92.
it? Hmm.
Let me fact check that. Okay, he debuted in 1990, so Taker was probably there. Taker. Is that the first casket match
Not
against
sure.
Kamala?
Yeah,
It
I think
is.
so.
It is.
Yeah, Kimono's quite a good one.
So fun fact: Kamala, I think he passed, but
Hmm.
he used to live about an hour and a half south of Memphis.
Yeah.
So, and he used to sit out on his front patio, and he would make furniture, and he was a very friendly guy, from what I heard.
Yeah.
It's yeah. In fact, Holly Hood used to talk to the guy every now and then. And Coco Beware, you remember Coco Beware?
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to. I used to do some stuff with Coco. Like I'd see him around town and say hi, and he used to shop at one of the stores that I worked at. So,
Yeah.
and you know,
That's
Hollywood
cool.
man, he knows everybody.
Hmm.
Brian Christopher, Jerry Lawler, um, uh, Buff Bagwell is like one of his good friends. They talk all the time.
Yeah. It's quite fun. Like, what's your favorite music that wrestlers come out to?
Hmm. Well, that's a good question too. I like music that fits the wrestler's attitude and character. Um, I like I like high impact, and that doesn't necessarily mean a lot of production, and it doesn't necessarily mean like a lot of pyro lights and lasers. Something that stands apart from everybody else and defines like what that person is all about. Um, so like with Shinsuke, Shinsuke Nakamura's music. Like where is he anyway? But anyway, Shinsuke's music really played into the character because he was always dancing. He was always making very fluid actions in the ring. The Ultimate Warrior, he came out with that supercharged dun, 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 and came out shaking the
Yeah.
ropes. Hulk Hogan, it played into him with the "I'm a Real American" and
Yeah.
this generic stuff. Like for instance, Finn Balor had some great theme music. When he first arrived with the lights flashing and the whole arms up thing and the
Yeah.
that whole deal. And
Yeah.
then WWE music writers decided that everybody needed that music. So if you go back to that period of time, everything had a somewhere in it. Everybody knew, and it was horrible. Stop. Why'd you fire that guy? Bring him back. So, and they're doing the same thing with costuming and makeup as well. Like you can see it. They've got 2 or 3 of the same gimmick, just all the way down the ladder.
Yeah.
And Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and whatever Performance Center. It's all the same gimmick. Just they've got their storyline, they've got their agenda, and they're fitting people into those roles. And it's rare that these days they have people that come in with their own defined thing. Like Cody Rhodes came in with his own stuff. He owns the rights to that music. He owns distribution rights to that music. He can play that music anywhere that he wants to. Or license it, I guess, whatever. But WWE didn't have to allow him to play that music. That was a negotiation. They could have done like they did everybody else and said, we're going to write your music for you and give you a Stardust gimmick. So really, like, I don't care what kind of music it is. It just needs to define the character that the wrestler is portraying, or at least the attitude. It's got to be tolerable to listen to. That's kind of a given. But yeah. How about you?
My favorite music's always been Triple H. I have no clue why, but it's just super good. I like it. And The Undertaker.
Have you heard the story about how Triple H got his music?
I may have. I don't know.
So this is kind
of. I know he's friends with Motorhead.
Right. So this is the way I heard it. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But the way I heard it,
say yes or no. If it's right.
Vince and Triple H were talking, or he was talking to somebody higher up. Triple H was, and they were talking about theme music because he was just coming out of that one gimmick and he needed something impactful. And he, at this point, had gained just enough popularity. Like he said, I really want something like Motorhead. And whoever he was talking to was like, you want Motorhead? Okay, we can do that. And they went and they got Motorhead. So again, we're back at, once you have enough star power, and once you have enough following and influence, then sometimes things just kind of get pushed a different direction. And the reaction that Triple H had, he was like, what? What? I can actually have Motorhead? Okay. Cool. So that's kind of how that took off. I mean, that was post Degeneration X, wasn't it? Or was it prior to?
The game was just after DX.
So there you go. DX pushed him into that superstar territory where you just gonna get things. And it helps if the band is a fan.
Yeah.
Like ICP and WCW, man. Oof. And Public Enemy.
Right, this might be silly, and a lot of people probably will think it's silly, but a wrestler, when they're coming out to save, whose music has been the best. Like, you want the one who's going to save you to have the best music with the best start to that song.
Well, I can tell you the most annoying, the absolute worst theme music of all time, no matter what. Right to censor. God,
Yeah.
it was awful.
Terrible.
It was screeching sirens and bleeps and no, terrible. But the best, most, you never want to hear that gong go off. You never want to hear that go, boom. You know it's about to go down. You also don't want to hear a crow call in the background and the lights go out. Sting was an awesome run in.
Yeah, you like Seek and Destroy. That opener to that song, that's like urgent, it sounds, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he's coming out to save you. That's the music that you want, that your savior to get you on. Is you really want like a music piece that, and the point of the music piece that's either normal or a savior piece, don't you? And
Yeah.
I think Seek and Destroy is that.
I like that. John Cena's music is good. For that.
Yeah.
That also brings up another kind of interesting topic that I've been kind of delving into in my personal life a little more and more, is music composition. So we both know, like, WWE had basically one music writer for a number of years. Wrote all of the music with the exception of a few outside tunes. And
Yeah.
the way that he wrote them, and you can get the albums online, they're all full songs. And they have an intro, which is what you hear when they're coming down the curtain. And then they have just a sustained loop for the most part in the middle, or it could be structured like a normal song with, a verse and a chorus and a verse and a chorus. And then inevitably you're going to have a loop in there that's going to play. And then you're going to have the outro. And they cue up where that loop starts, or right after the intro, like when the beat hits or whatever it is, they cue that up for when the bell is rung after the 3 count. So it takes that kind of song with those kind of breaks in it to really make a good all-encompassing theme song.
Yeah.
And with the beauty of digital editing these days, you can whip one together. Like, you could take, if you had the proper usage rights and whatnot, you could take a Metallica track and chop it up and throw your own loop in there. Not just copy paste to extend the track as long as you needed it to. Like, even on DJ boards, like you can do that on the fly. If you need to mix in something else and running out of time, just throw it on a loop. That's pretty cool technology.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero, Latino, it's just not good, but it's not very fast. After that, going into the lowrider kind of. Who else has got good music, man?
My favorite song for Eddie Guerrero was Lie, Cheat, Steal. I always wanted a long version of that one.
Of whose song?
Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, yeah. It did repeat itself so often.
Yeah. It was just simple. It was lie, cheat, steal. And they brought out a terrible version of it. And that just didn't sound right. Hi, Danny D.
Trying to think of who else
Hmm.
had some decent music. I mean, The Rock, Stone Cold.
That's good
Oh
saving
man, you want to
music.
know an ass kicking's coming when Stone Cold's music hits, dude. You know
Yeah,
it's about to
that's
go down.
pretty much right. Like the glass shattering. He's coming. Run.
Yep. Oh no, it's Kurt Angle with a milk truck. Oh my god. It's good to see you, Danny. How are you today?
Yeah, I'd be having a great day. So, me and Sean are discussing all things wrestling because we wanted to know what got each of us into wrestling and some other things if we have time.
Yummy. Oh man. Who else has some good? The Brood. I liked the Brood's gimmick more than I liked their music. Their music was kind of.
I'm not sure, but I really liked it. Don't know why.
I mean, it was cool just because it was so alternative and like Rob
Yeah.
Zombie, Marilyn Manson, gothic, dark. They had the bloodbath. Those were the coolest ones ever, man. I love that.
Yeah. My music taste is a bit bizarre.
Um, let's talk about other than the Undertaker, like some of the best gimmicks of all time, and maybe like just some of not maybe best, but some of the most standout, wackiest, weirdest gimmicks, like the Hurricane Shane Helms. Like I was such a hurricane. Like what is this guy doing with himself? Oh, Vince, make it stop! And then it turned out to be awesome.
Yeah.
He's a really great
These
athlete.
characters sometimes are so bad, they're good.
Yeah. And then you got like Bastion Booger.
Or, like, sometimes these characters can be so good, but you don't understand them that well, so you don't like them, really.
Like Austin Theory.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not a big Austin Theory fan, and I have no real basis for that other than the fact that I don't like his gimmick. And to be honest
Yeah.
with you, that just means that they're doing their job right. I
Hmm.
mean, he's a good athlete. He's a smaller athlete, but he is muscular. He does have
Yeah.
talent. He's obviously cutting a decent promo, even if all the thing he can say is shoosh. Like, somebody made a living off of holding around a 2x4, saying,
Wasn't that
"Ho!"
Chad Gable with the shush thing?
Oh, is that Chad Gable? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway,
My
like,
sister hates that when I go,
the-
shh. And I'm literally just sitting there bored and I'm just going, shh, shh, shh.
yeah, like the same thing applies. Just like Vince just has a way of shoving it down your throat so much that it either becomes a thing or it's just so bad that it's gone. Like there's not really too much middle ground with gimmicks like that. Razor Ramon.
So
Who would have thought that ever would have took off?
that was really good.
I mean,
So if you ever see me with a really bad black eye, it's because I've over shushed someone. I'm super annoying. Spend too much time with me and you'll want to punch me too. And you're going to have to seriously punch me because I ain't selling.
You're not what's the guy from Punch Out? Glass Joe? All right, what's going on with Alexa Bliss?
I don't know. Last I seen was I can't do this because trolls are bullying me.
How recent was that?
Not sure. About 2 weeks or 4.
I haven't read anything about it.
Hmm.
I just, if she's going back to the Bray Wyatt gimmick, this is the last
Yeah.
time it needs to happen. If she
Yeah.
can't do it this time, she just needs to move on to something else
Yeah.
that's a little less stressful and be happy.
Yeah.
Like Bray Wyatt, like WWE is just about giving up on Bray Wyatt anyway.
Hmm.
They botched the Uncle Howdy thing. They gave Bray creative control before, and it went pretty good. But like now, it's just kind of falling flat. He's lost. It's the same gimmick over and over and over again. We're back at the Funhouse, which is okay.
Yeah.
The
If they do
lantern
it
thing.
different, then that could be good. But Triple H has said it himself. Bray's got so many good ideas that they're always changing and going back to things. So he doesn't know if he needs someone that's going to tell him keep this track rather than jump the track and every time he gets bigger.
I would like to see Bray Wyatt and Paul Heyman work together. Or maybe even, and I'm almost certain this has got to be happening, Bray Wyatt and Bruce Pritchard. I mean, Bruce Pritchard was, right there with The Undertaker. And The Undertaker gimmick has pretty much been gone from weekly television for a while, so they need that supernatural gimmick, For whatever reason, they won't
I
let
really
Finn
think
Balor
Bray
do it.
could be that.
I think it could too. Like, and if he hadn't gotten hurt or whatever happened, to lead up to his exit the first time, he was on track for really good things. Put him in a program with the Shield against the family, and like it was gold, man. It was like DX gold. And I mean, the Shield was DX gold. And the Wyatt family, like they weren't far behind, and they had that really cool thing going on. And now they came back. It's the same thing with a same person. And I appreciate the new stuff, like him going in and taking over the control room. Like I think that's cool. It's something that they've done before, but like it's breaking the third wall. It's hadn't been done in a while. So it's cool. The lantern thing, I mean, we're kind of over that. Like we all know it's fake. Like we all know that your entrance is nothing more than like 2 wall panels stuck side by side because your cameraman and or their director can't tell them to get a decent shot ever. They've just ruined his gimmick. He's got a great voice. He's really talented on the microphone. But even that's getting old. He's starting to sound the same, just drony, over and over. Same thing. Do something with him. He needs a good feuding partner. As Kane comes in. Speaking of, like, where is the Wyatt family these days? I know one of them passed away.
Yeah.
Where's the other ones at? Where's the
I
big,
think
tall, red-haired dude?
The red-haired one's on the independent scene, as AEW hasn't taken him yet.
Oh, so what's going on at WrestleMania? I heard some news today. We're going to have a couple of matches locked in.
As far as I know, actually, I got that up. Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman versus Cody, of course.
Yep.
Then you've got Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley.
Yep.
My brother does not like her outfit.
Which one?
Rhea Ripley.
Psh.
Pretty much claims that as super non-PG.
Well,
You've got Brock Lesnar versus Omos and MVP.
I read something about that. I want to get back to that one.
Got Gunther in a fatal 5-way.
Gunther.
Yeah. Or Walter, whichever you want to use to annoy him.
Charlotte or Bianca Belair versus Asuka.
Yeah.
Austin. Okay, we'll get there. Let's talk about these two. We got Damage Control versus Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish. Don't know what I feel about that.
Yeah.
The Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. We got Bobby Lashley versus Bray Wyatt. We've got, here's a big one. We got Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. And then we have another big one.
I want to rebook that Logan Paul match.
I want to rebook this match.
I want to put him in a cannon and just fire him into the ocean.
Austin Theory versus guess.
Interesting.
Looks like it's for the championship too. The United States Championship. Austin Theory. I don't even know if I can say anything without giving you a clue. Or like totally giving it away.
Tell me.
He likes to wear the colors of John Deere tractors from times to times.
Not sure. I'm dumb.
And orange and blue and green and all of the different colored
Rainbow.
t-shirts. It's a new t-shirt every week. He always... Yeah! Austin Theory versus John Cena at WrestleMania. Why? Why, John?
I guess John Cena wants to work one match a year.
Against Austin Theory?
He's getting paid.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Well, this is not Logan Paul with his list.
That match is money, though. Like, that one I can actually kind of get behind, if nothing more than that is a celebrity spectacle right there. But, and Logan Paul is willing to risk it, you know. He's willing to go out there and do all that crazy stuff. Better than Shane.
Seriously, I just want to see a cannonball fired into his head.
I'd rather see Logan Paul fired out of a cannon into the WrestleMania sign. Or hold on. I got you, Joe. You see, what they really need to do, they need to take the cage, and they need to attach the ring to the bottom of it and suspend it in the air, right? And then
we need finance.
you shoot the competitor's Logan Paul into the ring, right? And then you just lower the cap on top of it so they can't get out. Have the other guy waiting for Logan to be shot into the ring, and then electrify the ring, and put barbed wire around the ropes.
Didn't they do that in TNA when it was that?
An electrified
ring.
Maybe.
I think it was the Dudleys was in the match.
I've seen some electrified ropes matches.
I
I've seen
haven't.
some exploding turnbuckle matches.
Hmm.
Put explosives in the turnbuckle, and whenever people hit them, they poof. Light tubes. I put way too much thought into that.
I'm pretty violent, but I can't think of anything super violent to give Logan Paul in a match.
Wouldn't it be cool
Well,
if he like parachuted into the stadium, like and
without
landed
the
in the middle of
parachute?
the ring? No, Joe. I could see. I legit could see someone like Seth Rollins parachuting in. I really could. I don't think they would let him do it. I think they would make do it a stunt double and all this other crap.
Yeah.
But how cool would
I
that be,
think with
parachuting into the middle of the ring?
Owen Hart, they're never gonna let like that type of thing be done as a try.
Yeah.
Owen was super good.
It was.
One of the shops I used to go into had a Blue Blazer figure. I really wanted it. Not fair. They wouldn't sell it me.
Gobbledygooker.
Hmm.
Weird gimmicks. Man, I was watching one the other day. It wasn't a gimmick. It was somebody versus Vader in WCW. And whoever it was had... Oh, man. I'm trying to remember it now. It wasn't Sting, I don't think. It was somebody that, like, stiffed Vader. And... like, if you know anything about Vader, you don't stiff Vader because Vader will level you. And like whoever it was in the company never got a receipt for it because they were right. And it was one of the rare occasions where Vader never retaliated against anybody in the ring. I'm trying to remember who I was watching that documentary on. It might have been Taker. I don't know. Taker was in WCW before he was in WWE. He wrestled in Memphis before he was in... yeah. He wrestled in Memphis before he was in WCW.
I actually saw a Mean Mark match, and I had no clue about that. And it was like, wow, oops, now I've ruined myself. I didn't want to know that Undertaker had another character.
Whoops.
But it's fun. Like, character after character, that's what makes it so fun. If they get the right characters going through the show.
The Bushwhackers. Jeff Jarrett, I thought it was crazy. When he came in and he was wearing all that spandex and the suspender things, like he didn't wear that in Memphis. He looked like a real country music star.
One of the Bushwhackers is still wrestling today.
Yeah. I think some of the Moondogs are still going at it too.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of the old classic wrestlers that can still wrestle today that stopped wrestling big in the 90s. That was WWE, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that go on the independent circuit. They work super protected matches.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, talking about the Moondogs, I was thinking back to WCW. I was watching one of the old Nitros, and they had to bring in, I think this is when they first brought in Mike Tenay, because Mike Tenay was the only one that they knew that knew anything about the Japanese wrestlers and the luchadors. And one of the first matches that I remember I think it was Taka Michinoku, and that's where the Michinoku driver was kind of coined.
Yeah,
And then I
he's a good
also turned
wrestler.
around and watched a Raw episode right after that, and they had Kai and Tai on there. And I was like, wow, Kai and Tai! I haven't heard those guys forever.
Hmm.
And he still does Japanese commentary.
Yeah.
What's that dude's name from Kai and Tai?
Funaki.
Who?
Funaki.
Oh yeah, Funaki.
Do you think there could ever be a Monday Night Raw Wars again or not? Between AEW and WWE. And I'm saying this based on WWE and AEW contracts are pretty much locked for over 6 years.
Network contracts? Well, here's I've only seen really one, maybe two AEW shows. And being honest, I've only really seen the original All In, the first one.
Yeah.
I've not seen any Dynamite episodes. I've not even really seen too many clips of AEW. But I do know they have a weekly TV show. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And it's pre-filmed or
They
is it
have
live?
two actually.
They have
And
two.
a YouTube video live or
And
weekly
is it
show.
what channel is the show on in the US?
I think it's on Channel 5 or Channel 3 for the UK. But I have no clue for the US.
Let's see. All right, so AEW is on TBS, TNT, and TBS. There's it's like 3 shows: Dynamite, Rampage, and AEW All Access. So it's on TBS, meaning that there's potential there for long-term contracts, as Nitro and all of WCW programming was on TBS, TNT, all of the Turner stations. So potential for long-term viability, sure, it's there. Turner got burnt though with WCW, so they're gonna have a hard time dumping massive funding into this thing. And at this point in time, I don't know that either company, roster-wise, has enough star power to totally dominate the other. WWE right now is relying very heavily on legends. Like, they're bringing in freaking John Cena for a match. They've brought in Trish Stratus and Lita. These people have been in the industry for 20-something years. And these are their main draws for their current attraction. That's not going to be very sustainable for very long.
Yeah. They need to commentator teams on both shows that can put over the wrestlers so people like them more. Or they're not going to get to know these wrestlers if they can't have a good commentary team. Do you think that's about right?
I agree with that. But there's also got to be a good creative department, a good writing department. Now, we all know Vince is very controlling and very barking orders and gorilla, and Triple H has given a lot more creative freedom, and I think Michael Cole is doing a great job with that creative freedom. And I've also noticed that it's kind of going in the older mentality of wrestling politics. Like, you've got the older people, not necessarily older, you've got the people with more experience that are correcting live on air people that are making mistakes, like Michael Cole or Corey Graves, telling McAfee to shut up, or like they're playing it off as a storyline, but you can tell like there's some real comments in there. Instead of Vince yelling at people, letting the people that really know the job better taking care of the situation, like having a lead commentator and a hierarchy there. And you're totally right, the storytelling, but you've got to come up with a story. Like who is this Omos guy? Like, I mean, that's an easy one, but like, what makes him any different than anybody else, other than his size? And like, here we are again. He's a big dude. Is that the only reason he got hired? I don't know. You got to come up with something creative.
Yeah. For someone like Omos, you need good commentary team. You've got MVP. He's good no matter what with the mic. He helps who he's with at that time and become bigger. But you still need the commentary to be good.
Mm-hmm. The commentary sells the story. It fills in the gaps between the shots, between the video. It fills in the backstory, the history, and the future, the mentality of who that person is. And another thing, when everything comes together, it's just beautiful, and you can see the progression in Brock Lesnar over the years. The guy wasn't the best on the microphone when he was first starting off in the business, and then when he came back, he's a Heyman guy, and Heyman's had thousands of hours of experience on the microphone in front of live crowds. He's very good at what he does, and Heyman and Lesnar work together, and it's gotten now like Lesnar doesn't need Heyman. Heyman's still involved in his segments. But, I can tell a Heyman segment from a non-Heyman segment just because of how good it is. And then when you got people like Michael Cole who can play into that, and people like Corey Graves that, they sit down, they study the tape, they know their story, as opposed to somebody that's out there, strictly just making, funny comments or, straight up calling the moves. You gotta, when it all comes together, it just tells the story. That is the soap opera for wrestling.
Yeah. Do you agree that wrestling needs, on commentary, a champion and a play-by-play?
A champion? As in another wrestler?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Generally speaking, I disagree with that. Unless it's the case of a special appearance, like a hype up kind of situation. Most of the time, it seems to detract from the commentary, in my opinion. And I can tell you one example it backfires, like Carmella. Carmella on the microphone.
Doesn't everything backfire with her?
Now, can you imagine, like, your champion of all of the titles talking on par with Carmella? What if you put that creeper dude on the microphone on commentary? I think it's a good gimmick, but leave the commentating to the professionals.
Yeah. That's the way I feel, is you need, for me, I like a wrestler because he needs to know the move, how much it will hurt and stuff like that, if he's going to explain it.
That is a good point. That's an excellent point. And to that, like, having someone like Booker T on there, having someone like Jerry Lawler, even. He was both. He was color commentary, but he was also, I had that happen to me back in the Coliseum in 1997. He could tell you and really sell the story. Current wrestlers is more where I'm kind of like, not so much. Like, if you got a good talker and somebody out there with a I don't give a flip attitude, Take somebody like Lesnar. Like, if Lesnar sees somebody, he's going to come down in the ring like Stone Cold would and says, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to watch this match. I can do whatever the heck you want to do, but watching you, like,
Yeah.
being active, I think retired wrestlers make some of the best commentators, and that translates into most sports. Hockey, football, basketball, everything. Baseball. You know what's going on, you can talk about it with more detail and with better inflection.
Yeah. Because I like the fact that wrestlers understand the moves. But if you get someone that's only wrestled maybe 1 or 3 matches, they don't understand the move itself properly, I feel.
It's always been a struggle for professional wrestling. There's so many different aspects to a professional wrestling show. And you've got to keep in mind, at the end of the day, it is indeed a show. And, Eric Bischoff was not a wrestling person. He was a television personality, or television producer. So it took that television mentality, and that's really what made Nitro what Nitro was. He knew how to shoot a good TV show. The wrestling was not an afterthought, but it was like its own department. Everything that led up to the wrestling was one thing. All of the pomp and circumstance of the ring entrances and the video packages and the storyline. Like, at the end of the day, you take all that stuff away, you've got a ring and people bouncing around in it. But the excitement is created by the atmosphere, and the atmosphere is created by the TV team or the live event team. So it really all has to come together, and it really, like, the bigger the show is, the more involved it is, the more complicated it is for everybody. And, like, that's what makes AEW special. It was, like, multiple different people that knew so many different aspects of the business coming together. Like, the Young Bucks and Cody, like, wrote the storylines. Like, I don't know the whole history, but it was their baby. And Cody was in there, and, like, it was for wrestlers by wrestlers, and they knew what they were doing. WCW worked, but we saw what happened there at the end when wrestlers were, too many bosses and not enough employees. There's got to be structure and hierarchy.
Do you think there's a place in WWE or AEW for CM Punk? Mind you, CM Punk got in a fight with Kenny Omega, and apparently CM Punk's dog got hurt, and that's what sort of led to the big brawl backstage. And then CM Punk being stripped of the title and off TV for months.
Again, I haven't kept up with it that much, so I'm just kind of postulating theory at this point in time. But, that's another good question. Is there a place for CM Punk in the wrestling business? I say yes. I say yes. with that sentiment included, kind of. Mic check 1, 2. But, like, here's the thing. CM Punk is a heat magnet. Like, okay, imagine. WWE announces on Monday morning at 10 a.m. CM Punk confronts Brock Lesnar live on Raw. How many people would tune into that show?
Quite a lot, I think.
If that show was on competitively against AEW, AEW would tank that night, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Or It could backfire again, but what's happening on AEW now? But so many people have too many different TVs in their house; they can do that now. But like, and that right there is like prime example of why there is a reason and not a reason, a place for CM Punk in the wrestling industry. He is a money draw. Now, we can clarify that and say that CM Punk needs to be saved for special appearances. We can say that CM Punk needs to be put on supervised probation, have somebody, in the locker room at all times. I mean, just a security guard, a nobody. I mean, we're kind of past the days of the Undertaker holding court. We're not really, but like we kind of are. So, I mean, I don't say like separate him entirely from the roster, but just be like, look, this is how it's gonna go down. And I mean, Mike Tyson. I mean, is there a place for Mike Tyson in boxing after he bit off that dude's ear? The answer to that was no. Not in one league, but in another league, like in exhibition, he could still fight. So. I mean, with enough supervision and enough whatever, sure, there's a place for him. But you just got to weigh out your risk versus reward.
Yeah.
Yes. How much money is he going to make you? And is he going to comply with the rules? What are you going to lose?
Because my brother's on the edge of like every time I say to him about CM Punk still being off TV, he's like, Tony Khan only cares about the summer of Punk, not CM Punk. Because that was like his big run.
From an executive standpoint, looking at it that way, sure. I mean, if there's not a story to have the talent there for, then there's just not a story. If you make the decision that it's just easier to move on without the individual and replace the storyline with something else, then do that. It seems like what they've done. Like what they're doing with Riddle right now. If they wanted to bring Riddle back, they could bring Riddle back. But they're not right yet. I mean, they're saving him for something, or they're just quietly letting him go, one or the other. He's been cleared for some time now. Jeff Hardy, same story. Jake Roberts, same story.
I think Jeff's banned because he can't drive. Because of the DUI thing. So that could be his nightmare. With a lot of companies. I'd like to see a good Jeff Hardy match again.
Yeah. I'd like to see a good Jeff Hardy match too. I would like to see a proper Jeff Hardy versus Sting. But that'll never happen. Like Sting's way past his prime.
Yeah. He's pretty beat up, I think.
Yeah. That's like the two people that I guess garnered the most respect in the business from me are Sting and Taker. Both individuals, ironically enough, Taker started in WCW and finished in WWE. And Sting started in WCW and finished in WWE. And during the meantime, neither one of them jumped ship. Until, like, Sting finally did. But still.
Sting went to TNA, which I think my brother said that a lot of the wrestlers didn't want to go to WWE because of the Yahoo contracts they were under.
Yeah, the contracts were terrible. Yeah, a lot of them, they didn't want to go, and a lot of them just got paid to sit at home and do nothing for years.
Do you think if Bret Hart had never gone to WCW, he would never have had the stroke because of that kick?
Remind me again what happened? You got super kicked by somebody?
Goldberg kicked him as in the head or something, and pretty much Goldberg weren't that safe at that time. It was pretty much smash mouth wrestling with him.
Yeah, Goldberg. It's a topic.
Dangerous.
Yeah, can be. I mean, it's a woulda, coulda, shoulda, if situation. You know, obviously, you know, if Bret Hart never went to WCW and if Bret Hart never wrestled Bill Goldberg, then Bret Hart could have possibly never suffered a stroke due to concussive blow to the head. I mean, sure. I wouldn't consider that a deciding factor. Like, I think a better, like, maybe viewpoint is, should Bret have agreed to the contract, or should Bret have agreed to wrestle Bill Goldberg? We already know that Bret's the kind of guy that if he's a stand-up person, he's going to stand up for himself. So, you know, he left WWF on a bad note to go to a company, and you go to WCW. So, you know, it's like if Bret didn't want to wrestle Bill Goldberg, then would have Bret wrestled Bill Goldberg? Was it a money thing? Was it a you have to do this in you're fired situation? Was, like, I don't really know what led up to that. I don't know if Bret knew anything about Goldberg, you know, how safe or unsafe of a worker he is. And Goldberg obviously didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
They said, go out there and destroy these people. So he did. He didn't care anything about wrestling. You know, they kept him pretty much secluded from everyone else in the locker room because nobody liked him. He came in and got fed everything with a silver spoon.
Do you think if they ever let it happen, Ryback would have been a good match against Goldberg?
Yeah. I would have loved to see that happen.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Ryback wrestle in a long time, but I was a fan of whatever I saw.
Yeah. Because it was pretty interesting. Like, I liked Ryback. I've seen him wrestle properly when I saw the live in the UK shows. So that was pretty fun. Even, like, at some points you don't see certain people come off their feet. And when they first start, if they want them to become the monsters kind of thing. And one of the first matches I saw with Ryback, he suplexed Braun Strowman. Don't take him off his feet. Them feet were definitely on the ceiling.
Oh man, like the Lex Express, Yokozuna, and the supposed first body slamming of Andre the Giant. He'd been slammed like 3 or 4 times before. It's a funny story, actually. Leading up to that match between Yokozuna and Lex Luger, they had warm-up matches. And one of those warm-up matches was right here in town. And I actually saw them wrestle before the event. It was pretty cool. They wrestled down at Or I guess it was the Coliseum. Had to have been. That was a fun night. We got to see them, Lawler, Moondogs, Rock and Roll Express, Jimmy Hart, Honky Tonk Man, Jeff Jarrett, gosh, Coco Beware, all those guys.
I've got a silly one for you. What's the worst chant you've ever heard? But funny. This could be a disaster.
Oh, the worst but funniest chance.
I've got two, though.
Okay, come on, you go first. I gotta think about this for a minute.
Okay, so Alexa Bliss is standing in the ring. Loch Ness Monster! That chant was going through the whole match. That's just so silly. And every time I was watching, the second one is Bailey and Nia Jax.
Oh boy.
Every time Nia Jax hit Bailey, it was "Don't eat her." Don't eat Bailey. Don't eat Bailey. It's hilarious. But a disaster.
Oh man.
Oh, actually, I have another one.
Yeah. What?
I can't remember his name, but he has the whole ass. No, he has the whole face on his ass. He has a picture of his face on his backside on his trunks. So you can imagine the UK will pick up on that, just that one little bit, and try and annoy the wrestlers with it.
I've seen a ton of those compilations online with the different crowd chants. I'm having a hard time picking out any of them specifically, like the out of place Stone Cold what's like. I love those. The "You Still Got It," like for modern wrestlers. The ever popular "You Effed Up." This is awesome. Boring. The soccer chants. Ole, ole, ole. Oh, those are fun. We want beach balls. I've heard that one. Man. Na chance. Honestly, I watch everything on Hulu now, so it's all edited. I don't get to see any of it live.
Yeah.
I need to rebudget and get live TV again. Oh man. Gimmicks that went too far. When they put Stephanie McMahon on the Undertaker symbol. That go too far or no?
I thought I can't remember what it was, but Valvina's kind time.
I don't recall that one. Oh my. Oh god. And there was there was also Stephanie and Hunter in the drive-through marriage. That one went a little bit extreme.
And KD Vick storyline with Triple H dressed up as Kane.
I guess I remember that one.
I think it was the Katie Fick and the funeral parlor video.
Okay.
It's a bit
Oh.
disturbing, really.
Yeah. The Brian Pillman angle, that was something. The home invasion angle. They got in trouble over that one.
Yeah. A lot, I think.
Man, if WCW would have opened up that bay door when DX arrived back in the invasion, dude, that would have been so
That was good.
cool.
Do you have any dream matches?
Dream matches. Oh man, yeah. I mean, I got to think about it. I don't have any like one off the top of my head. I mean, I would have liked to see the Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see the Undertaker versus Crow Sting. I would have loved to see the Shield versus the tribal, whatever it is, bloodline. I mean, some of my dream matches have already happened, like Lita versus Trish.
Yeah.
Chris Benoit versus Bret the Hitman Hart. I don't know if that's ever happened, but I mean, I would love to see another Eddie and
That
Ray
was a
match.
tribute show to Owen Hart, Bret Hart versus Chris Benoit.
I mean, I would love to see the like another Ray and Eddie match. I would like to see some Fatal 5-Way with some Eddie, Ray, Juventud Guerrera, Conan, and somebody else. We throw some other people into the mix, man. I'd like to see some Kenny Omega versus a lot of people in the WWE.
From what I've seen on rumor sites, Kenny Omega is one of those that WWE want. Apparently.
They should have gotten him a long time ago. Kenny Omega, I don't know about now, but I know that Kenny Omega is, or was at the time, one of the best wrestlers, if not the best wrestler in the entire world. And he had a wrestling brain too, which is very helpful. So I said that back at Wrestle Kingdom 2021, maybe? Or 22, I don't remember. But back at Wrestle Kingdom, like, I knew he had AEW like set in his sights, but he could have ran with that IWGP title for so long. They don't give that lightly over there either. Like, they really want a long-term star, long-term champion. Like, I would like to see like Kota Ibushi in some American shows. There's a bunch of Japanese stars that I would like to see, like Minoru Suzuki. Not Kai and Tai, but there's another like Kai and Tai act over there that's pretty good. Back to like people that we know in the U.S. And like, we're going to like, there's not, in my opinion, there's just not many modern day superstars. Drew McIntyre, but I'm a big Drew McIntyre fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of dude from AEW, Tommaso Ciampa.
Hmm.
Huge Tommaso Ciampa fan. I don't know what they've done with him.
He's, well, basically, he's come off TV because of an injury.
Great. Great.
He keeps getting injured with, it last, one of the matches I watched in the UK at Download Festival, he was wrestling Johnny Gargano. In that match, there was a small bit of trouble. One of the fans decided he was going to restrain Tommaso Ciampa. And I'm pretty sure that if the wrestlers decided that was reasonable grounds for him to whack him, as Ciampa shouldn't have been restrained by fans,
No.
and especially with neither Johnny Gargano asking the fans to do anything. Because you could see he wasn't asking, and he was a bit of a um, what the hell moment it was. And he was just trying to do the best he could, Johnny Gargano was. And he actually continued to fight him. But but the person on the other side of the barrier, he could sort of walked around quickly and said, "Don't do that again, or there'll be trouble," kind of thing. So, do you think wrestlers know what to do if something like that happens at times?
Yes
Or
and
do
no. um, this is one of those things that's kind of one of my specialties.
yeah,
Um,
it's quite unusual, don't you think?
well,
Fans grab the wrestler in a big promotion
in a
and
larger promotion,
try and
yes.
get away with it.
Yeah, in the larger promotions, yeah, it's fairly unusual. In the smaller promotions, on the other hand, it's very common. Um, I still live in a part of the world where the bad guys, when they get out of the car, or when the heels, they get out of their vehicles, they put a towel over their heads to
Yeah.
hide their identity before they walk into the arena, because there are fans that will legitimately try to cause them harm. Kayfabe is still very much a thing here.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it's fake, but for some reason the emotions still transfer
They
over into
still
real
want to kill
life.
those guys.
Yeah. Don't run into somebody in a seedy bar after dark after the show. Like, get out of town before you go out with your friends. But like in some of the smaller shows, it's not uncommon for fans to stop some of the performers or athletes from while they're coming down to the ring, or sometimes they'll get beverages or whatever thrown at them, and typically we have some other wrestlers. Usually it's the babyface wrestlers that will act as kind of a buffer, and
Yeah. Send them out as the heels go out.
yeah,
Or
or we'll
just
just
after
have.
the heels have gone or about to go out.
Yeah, we've always got somebody keeping an eye on somebody, but also what you asked was, some of the do they have, like, do they know what to do? And
Mm.
it's just kind of one of those senses that you develop over time. Like, if somebody
Yeah.
touches you, you have to be able to snap around and make a fast judgment as to whether or not they pose a threat.
Yeah.
And of course, what's the best method for de-escalation? Because you never want to
Mm.
strike a fan.
Yeah.
You just want to get away without making any physical contact if at all possible.
Mm.
And it's in your training, but some people are better at it than others. Some people just don't care. Some people just do whatever they're gonna do. And you just don't touch a wrestler.
Yeah.
If you put your hand out and they don't try to touch you, then they're probably not in the mood for it, and there might be consequences.
Yeah. Like, I was at a wrestling show, and this is my fault. I put my hand out to get a high five after she, pretty much near where she would have not seen me at all. But she, or should I say, Candice LeRae, she actually made the effort to give me a high five twice.
Nice.
I'm lazy.
Yeah, if they approach you, yeah, go for it.
Hmm.
People that like get up over the barricade and start patting on the guys when they're laying down there, supposedly in pain, leave them alone, man. Like,
Yeah.
unless it's a plant. Like, obviously, that stuff happens. They put people out there in the entryway with signs that make the
Yeah.
wrestlers mad, and the wrestler grabs it and rips it in half, and everybody cries. It's all fake. Most of it's fake. Sometimes it's real.
Yeah.
Oh, who was that? Nia Jax that pissed somebody off going to the ring the other day. No. It was somebody, one of these new NXT people. They got some bad heat for like not high-fiving a fan.
That may have been Lacey Evans,
Yep,
and
that
may
one.
have been my next question. Do you think it's fair to troll a wrestler who is playing a part of a heel that's not supposed to touch the fans or interact in a positive way? Do you think that's fair on the wrestler?
For fans to troll wrestlers?
Probably a wrestler that's playing a heel.
Oh, yeah. I think that's part of the show. I think that, I mean, obviously we have good guys and bad guys, and we've got, each side's got to have a rooting or a cheering section.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to make the
My
distinction.
thing is, if they won't acknowledge the person or high five them, is that fair to troll them because of that?
I probably yeah. I mean, if that's your character's attitude, then yeah. Now, you know, it goes further than, like, right now we're talking specifically like on entry ramps and ringside and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, yeah, like if someone's persona or character is like Rick Martel, you know, and they're too good for everybody. You're just above the fans, or whatever. Then and just snooty attitude. I mean, it just plays into it, to the character.
Yeah.
Like, there's really like no real reason for Dominic to go out there and ask for high fives.
Yeah.
It kind of ruins that. I don't care if you're the biggest Dominic Mysterio fan in the world. Like, if you did it that way, like if you got high fives, then obviously the dude that was receiving the high five would have to be on board with the whole, like, go, Maria's mommy, you're so much better than Eddie. Eddie's not your daddy suck. The fan would have to really play into that. If it's just a happy interaction, like they're a good guy, I think it breaks the story down. And like, even some of these people, like in the meet and greets, they bring their character into the meet and greet and the autograph session. And some of them break it down. Like, playing a heel is, in my opinion, a lot easier than playing a babyface. And playing a babyface affords you more freedom of expression.
Yeah.
As a heel, you're really trapped into being a heel. And like, it's hard from like a wrestler's perspective, from a commentator, someone that's been in the business. You've got to give people a reason to like you. You can't just walk out there and expect for the entire arena to go crazy because they don't know who you are. They don't know what you've done. They don't know what you're about or what you're about to do. And like, it's easy to go out there and create drama. Like, you know, I use this example just because it's easy. You know, so you've got a baby face or a heel. It doesn't matter. In the ring, cutting a promo, they get interrupted by this other guy that nobody knows who it is. Brand new character, brand new performer. They come in there and say, hey, I don't like the jacket you're wearing and your mother doesn't cook good food. All right, fine. Now this guy's mad at this guy, and since this guy in the ring is familiar, he instantaneously becomes the baby face. Even if he's a heel, he becomes the baby face in that point in time because who's this outsider insulting our person over here? Now, if this guy, let's reverse it. If this guy came out there and started talking the praises of himself, then we would have an Austin Theory situation. Like, you've got to give people a reason to like you. So let's take that, you know, the pattern, the progression of a wrestler, and you can look at it. You go in as a heel, you turn face, and then you turn heel again. From there, after that heel turn, you're free to play whatever role you want to for the most part. Because you, at that point, have established yourself as both good and bad, and you have a following no matter what. Like Kevin Nash, do anything he wants to. Hulk Hogan, do anything he wants to.
Like, I've known for quite a while, you don't bug the heels because they're not supposed to acknowledge you that well, other than to say sod off. I'm okay with that. That's funny.
Yeah, if you're going to interact with a wrestler, expect to get the proper interaction back.
Yeah. You want, that's the thing I want, is I'm, with the wrestlers that I've met, I'd rather have the heel than someone that's going to constantly talk to you. Like, I met Pete Dunne, which is now Butch. And would you, like, who on this set of three would you think said this line? How are you? Pete Dunne. Oh, fuck. I'm going to kick myself quickly.
Was it Pete Dunne?
Yes.
All right.
But Trent Seven was there too. By the way, if you can hear that noise, there's a bit of a stamping on my foot. Before forgetting.
So, like, you make a good point. When you go to an autograph session, when you go to a meet and greet session, do you want to meet The Undertaker or do you want to meet Mark Calloway?
Yeah.
With no makeup on, wearing a t-shirt, jeans. Like, at this point in time, people want to meet Mark Calloway. But talking back in the 1990s, like, if you walked into the room and you saw this dude sitting there drinking a Bud Light, like, hey, oh, you want me to sign that? Okay, cool. Who are you again? Oh, I'm The Undertaker. Like, it totally ruins the experience.
Yeah. Like, Pete Dunne is pretty cool. Like, I thought, when I first saw him, I thought, get lost, he's not going to talk to you. He won't, he doesn't look that nice of a person. And while I was walking up the steps to meet them, he was the first person to actually say hi. I got a couple of things signed. I actually handed all the wrestlers on that panel. Tyler Bates was the one that was giving me trouble with remembering the names of the three. So I give them a card. There was a couple of pictures on each card, on one of the cards. There was a WWE Championship, United States, and Money in the Bank, a ladder, a table. I handed all them cards to the people. Trent Seven signed the Intercontinental. He said to me he doesn't want the other ones. He's happy with the Intercontinental Championship belt, which actually made that a special item to be given back because he gave me a story with it. And when I gave Pete Dunne the cards, he took the table, as that was what he liked of the cards. And I'm not sure what Tyler Bates signed. He may have signed. No, he signed the Money in the Bank and said that'd be fun. And she don't really need to say much, but it's nice to give people stories when you hand them stuff to sign. As I will never sell these things. It's fun to have something I can show.
I'd love to have Shawn Michaels sign my Intercontinental Championship. That would be.
Yeah.
If I was to get anything signed, I think that would be the belt that I would get signed. It's got that white leather on it, so it'd show those autographs real nice. Get Hulk Hogan to sign.
I would love to have a WWE belt, but my brother has said get lost so many times to even them really small ones. You know the one you've got? I think it's the Intercontinental, maybe.
Yeah, I've got quite a few of the little ones. I've got the big Intercontinental one.
Yeah. If I was given a belt, I'd actually have it on my wrist most of the time without. The belt I would love is the Rated R Superstar belt or WWE Main Championship belt from the 90s.
Winged Eagle?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of them I want, man. I'm not going to lie, the AEW belt looks sweet. But they stole the design. They didn't steal. They were heavily influenced by the IWGP World Heavyweight title, which I think is one of the most beautiful belts ever made. I like the new U.S. title. I think it's pretty snazzy looking.
Yeah.
I would like to have a high quality replica of Big Gold though. Not with acid etching and I'm talking 5-6 millimeter plates dug in there with jewels glued into it, hand tooled. Would be a nice one. I also like the butterfly belt.
Cool. Do you know one wrestler I really wanted to get an autograph from?
Who's that?
It was. Damn it. This may happen a lot. If I don't have a pen and paper before the things, sometimes I forget. But yeah, I really like the character, but they didn't really use him properly with WWE once he went up. Because I can't remember the name, but if I give you enough clues, you might know it. He used to sort of lay down and be lifted up as he come out. Oh, Alistair Black. I asked him, is it okay if you sign something? Not allowed. That was pretty much it. Not allowed to sign, but told as Caleb Braxton finished the show, go and happily get your autographs when you see people, but they're not allowed to sign.
I've seen stuff like that before. They're not allowed to sign unless they're in like their booth or something. You
Yeah.
can't just approach them.
Hmm.
I don't know. I want to see what's in my package over here.
Cool.
Package.
Do you want the camera full size?
Yeah. This won't take long. Get out my. What is 3-in-1 foldable wireless charger by Holy Joy.
Cool.
Holy Joy! 3-in-1. It's supposed to charge my phone, my watch, and if I had any of the wireless chargeable bud things, it would charge those too.
These things.
Yeah, those. Mine don't charge that way. They have a USB plug-in.
Yeah. I need a new set. I'm wearing my old headphones because these went flat. It says 3 hours. We're not even at the 3-hour mark. They went flat at the hour and a half.
USB 3.0. How is it 3.0? It doesn't mean anything. 3.0 is the data speed, not the freaking power. USB cord. USB A to C. Let's see how long it is. Oh yeah, that's definitely long enough to go to my plug. Sure. This is why I buy USB extension cables. Alright. That actually, okay. Let's see. Let's take a look at after it falls on the floor. Get over there.
I would really love to watch later Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels SummerSlam 97, but my brother's mean. I have to wait until either WrestleMania or YouTube it.
That smells like manufacturing. Oh, that is stiff. Gosh. Okay. The light on off right there. So it's just a thing, and you just put your phone there, and then that folds up and down for easy travel. The back has a thing. Comes out. Normally you would charge your watch on this little thing. Just plugs in, and then your watch, it just like it's magnetic and it goes on there. So bought this, so I take my phone and set my phone like that.
Yeah.
And it'll lean back, and hopefully it'll stay on there. It's got a little piece of rubber here that is supposed to make it stay on there. So that stays on there and charges, supposedly. And then it's got the thing right here to hold your watch. Is it magnetic? Yeah, it feels like it's magnetic. So that's cool. And then that goes there. And then when you're ready to go for the day, you just pick your stuff up and you're good to go. I would suppose you could just throw your phone on there if you really wanted to, like that. When you're done, it just folds up flat, and into your bag it goes. Cool. Little feet thing on it. I gotta peel these off. Stickers. Maybe plug it in and see if it works. need to charge your earbuds and clean them, says Wit. So this adapter is 120 in and 0.6. Okay, hold on. Outputs 5 volts at 3 amps, 9 volts at 2 amps, and 12 volts at 1.5 amps.
My brain hurts. I've been thinking.
What have you been thinking?
So this is a bit silly because it's off topic, and I could probably wait until after. But I keep thinking I want to type in the where I'm supposed to edit the description or name. But I keep thinking, what if I put the topic of this live?
Oh, yeah. Hey, give me just a second, man. I'll be right back.
Go. How are you with? I've probably asked or not, but I'm forgetful. Very forgetful. Okay, super forgetful. That's cool. Did you have fun? I forgot to ask Sean earlier. Does the title look okay now? Because it was just bugging me a bit. Mike. Mike's not working.
Check, check.
Yeah.
Hadn't updated on YouTube yet.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know why. Well, it says my phone is charging. 1 hour and 3 minutes until full, it says. So it doesn't appear to be like a fast charging. It's at 67%.
Cool.
That part works. Let me see where my watch is. This is at 74%.
Yeah, I forced it.
It charges at the same time. I'm happy with it. And even the incognito mode works.
Cool.
So I'm very happy. Hey, there he goes. Oh, you even fixed the typo.
Does that look okay?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And so
It's
far, I am very pleased with his little charger thing. It might
yeah,
be slow, but my
yeah,
phone's got a 2-day battery life on it, so I
mm,
can't complain.
yeah. Mine has 4 hours if I'm playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I haven't tested mine while playing games, no.
Play Pokemon Go, your phone will be flat within hours. I definitely like the small interactions with wrestlers because they're more better. I feel like you can't break their character really. Like Chris Jericho, I'm not sure how long ago this was, but he was in a lift and a couple of fans wanted an autograph, and he was pretty much ignoring them as he won't sign if he's a heel. And I've known that for quite a long time. Don't ask heels for autographs. Only ask the baby faces. That's about right, isn't it?
I mean, after the show or before the show, if they're around, then I'd say that it's perfectly fine to approach whoever and ask.
Mm.
Um, Especially like in this day and age. And if they say no, then just don't take it personally and move on.
I'm, if I'm being honest, I don't really care if they won't sign things, as it's fair enough because like heels, you don't expect them to sign things, and if they're being told they're not allowed to sign, then who cares really? But
It's really more about the
mm,
memory that's created
yeah,
than the piece of merchandise that you get at the end of the day.
mm,
I mean, the piece of merchandise is nice,
yeah,
but you've always got that, like you said earlier, you've got that memory, that experience that's attached to that piece of
mm,
merchandise, and that's really what makes it special. It's
yeah,
not the Funko Pop or whatever it is. It's nice to have little
mm,
souvenir, little trinkets.
yeah.
So
I'm not sure, but I do remember being at Download Festival, and I was like looking at the tent where the wrestling was at that time, and all I remember is seeing after the shows and at random times walking past, I see this girl with blue hair running around outside, going outside of the barrier and
Mm-hmm.
going back in. And stupidly, if I was around long enough, I'd have met Dakota Kai.
Oh.
Like, I don't think Kayla Braxton was really high fiving people or much, but she actually high fived me.
Hmm, that's cool.
Hmm. It was like I put my hand out and like
Uh-oh. Internet went away.
back.
Oh. Hey, there you are.
But yeah, she was sort of walking away, saying no, and I was starting to move my hand back, and she grabbed my hand to high five. So there's pretty good memory. Actually, like when walking up to the wrestlers when doing the signings, they said, "Don't ask for photos. Don't put your camera away," sort of thing. I was okay with that. After the show, I knew where the wrestlers would be when the main band was on, so I walked around there. I got a photo with Trent Seven, and in that photo, um, Ricochet was standing there, both hands, beer. So I'm like, I won't post that photo with Ricochet with two beers, as I'm not nasty. I send it to him if he emails me calling me an asshole. Then everyone can see it. But he ain't got my email. Do you know another thing that annoys my sister?
What's up?
What you doing? Just say that over and over again for 5 minutes. Like every time she speaks and stops, just go, "What you doing?" It's super annoying, right?
I could see that it could be annoying from times, just times, yes.
Mm. Another one that used to get my sister was diddums. She speaks, just say diddums. It really, really annoyed her. But like I said, I'm super annoying outside of this stuff.
Oh,
Did you get the email you're waiting for?
not yet.
No. I'm starting to sulk.
Oh, I got email from another game company.
Hmm.
See what this is all about.
Other than the SummerSlam match, what's one of your favorite matches?
Mm. Hell in a Cell's good.
Hmm.
Or the Mick Foley and Taker.
Yeah.
Benoit. No, not Benoit. I mean, just about anything. Bret Hart.
Hmm. I could sit forever watching Bret Hart matches and literally not get bored. Just me sitting there and doing nothing. That's the best bit. But most likely later, YouTube. Unless you're on Twitch, then it'll be Twitch.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing tonight. I'll
Hmm.
figure it out. trying to think. Good match. Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon. Those are good matches. And Cactus Jack had some great matches too. Like Cactus Jack, Vader. And Jake the Snake and Macho Man, that was a good one. Macho Man and Hulk, that was a good one. I don't know. Maybe that's a good topic for discussion for the next one of these.
Yeah. That's cool.
Cool. Let's plan on doing another one of these sometime.
Yeah. Cool.
I don't know when, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Right, this is the best one.
Best one.
Throw me out the window and say, "Hey Joe, I'm bored. Let's do this again."
I'm not bored, but I do have some stuff that I need to attend to, unfortunately.
Oh, don't worry, I'm not bored at all.
I'll throw
I'm
you
just
through
thinking
the
of throw me
barbershop
out the
glass.
window anyway.
I just chunk you through the barbershop glass. How's that?
Yeah. Fair.
All right, Brutus. Whit, appreciate you hanging out.
Where if you're not busy, come hang out on one of our Discords. No blows. Well, I forgot my line.
Let's rock it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
right.
rock it. Have a great day. Stay safe, and I will see you all again next time. Wait, it would help if I actually.
Push the buttons. Push the buttons. I watch myself go disappear. Oh no! Wait a minute.
Watch it, Sean. You're gonna break my ribs.